to Modern Home Masterminds with beSpoke Brokers. I'm Shauna Glazier, designated broker and owner.
And I'm Brittany Williamson, associate broker. Shauna and I are bespoke real estate, but we're also your guides to modern luxury across the entire state of Arizona.
Each week, we chat with masterminds shaping the modern spaces. Do you want to get a behind the scenes look at your design build team's processes? Well, open communication and teamwork will lead you to a successful project.
From architects to builders, designers, and more, let's explore the art of modern living together.
All right, welcome back, listeners. How do you really know that your builder knows what they're doing? This week, we're chatting with Evan Boxwell, a second generation builder who grew up on a construction site and turned that experience into a thriving business, building some of Phoenix's most stunning modern homes.
That's right. Evan is the president and CEO of Boxwell Homes. As Shauna mentioned, he is a second generation builder with a degree in construction management from Arizona State University. Since launching Boxwell Homes, he's become known for creating high quality custom homes throughout the valley.
All right.
Welcome.
Hi,
Welcome.
thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're excited to chat with you. All right. So, Evan, your background in construction started really early. How did that hands on experience, in addition to your degree in construction management, shape your approach to building luxury homes in Phoenix?
Um, well, like you guys said, my dad was a custom builder in Colorado, so I grew up in the summers working for him on the job sites up in the mountains. He built these log cabins, second homes in a mountain community, and that's when I realized I did not want to be a home builder. Right, like he had me doing the grunt stuff. I was, sweeping job sites. I was sent to the hardware store to get the board stretcher, which that doesn't exist, the board stretcher. So that's when I knew I was like, I don't want to do this. So I thought I was going to go into something finance or, I wanted to be a stockbroker or something like that. So that's why I went to college, was to get a degree in finance. And halfway through, I realized I just didn't want to be sitting in front of a computer all day. So I switched my major, 3 years into my college career, and switched to construction management, and fully delved into it, and it was a good experience. And right out of college, I took a job with a custom builder, a local custom builder, and that was like 2005. And a couple years later, the financial crisis was fully upon us, and I knew I was going to be out of a job relatively soon. So that's when I kind of uh, took a swing on my own and went out and founded Boxwell Homes. So I think all of that experience, the college experience, and then working for another custom builder, I just knew I wanted to do it on my own. That was my goal, was to just see if I can do this on my own. So just started buying foreclosures, at the courthouse steps. That's kind of how I got started. Just doing little fix and flips,
So you were
flips to,
developing your own properties.
yeah,
Yeah.
essentially developing, right? Like you're buying this house, with hard money, the clock is ticking. You got to flip it, in 2 or 3 weeks and try to turn, 5, 10, $15,000 profit while the
Yeah.
18% interest is
Right.
creeping up on you.
Right.
So that's really how I got started and got the experience of building, right? Um, you certainly get some experience in college, but there's nothing that compares to hands-on
Actually
in the
doing it.
trenches, doing it on your own. So, and then eventually, when we could start buying lots and scraping them and building homes and selling them for more than it costs to do it, that's when we started doing new construction.
Yeah. So roughly, when did you start doing new construction?
I think our first new construction was in 2011 or 12. Um, there was some lots just south of where they were developing the light rail, and the city of Phoenix was selling these lots at basically nothing, right? So they just wanted to get rid of them. I think the first lots we bought were like $20,000, and we were just developed these smaller contemporary homes, and selling them for like 350 or 400 grand. So that was kind of the first new construction that we ventured into.
That's a cool story. It's interesting that you decided to jump in on your own during the recession.
Well, I mean,
But it makes sense with
right.
what you were doing.
I didn't know any better, right?
Yeah.
And I wasn't married, didn't have kids, didn't have
Yeah.
a pot to piss in, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, what
You
do I
didn't
got
have
to
anything to
lose?
lose.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
it also sounds like you jumped in as an investor and not so much as a
Mhm.
builder.
Right. Well, there
And
was,
they
I mean,
turned you into the builder.
exactly. There was
Mhm.
nobody was building custom houses in 2008 or 9, right? Most custom builders were getting their ass kicked,
Yeah.
So they just had to find ways to kind of beat the market, and time the market, and just get in and get out and be efficient, and that's really what led to growing the business is
Mhm.
knowing the timing, being on time, staying on budget. Like there's other factors
When
that
developing your
exist.
relationships with
Exactly.
different vendors and
Right.
craftsmen.
So
Right.
then
Sure.
did it eventually, people are seeing your work and seeing you flipping these, then did clients start reaching out to you and saying, hey, we have land, will you build for us?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like one of those first houses, south of the light rail. A guy just pulled up when we were finishing up. It's like, hey, I own a piece of property up in North Central Phoenix. I want to build a house. So what do I do? And I said, I don't know. We'll figure it out. So I found an architect. We developed the plans. We built the house. Basically, did it for nothing. And that was a learning experience. That was our first custom home project, and I learned a lot.
That's
What not to
really
do.
cool. That was your launch pad. And the name, I mean, Boxwell, you have such a great name to be in this
Right.
business.
You do.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it kind of it goes. I mean, if I had to go back and redo it, maybe I wouldn't put you know uh, my last name as the name of the company, just for whatever reason. But
No, no,
it
no.
just
I disagree.
I
Boxwell,
agree.
I didn't even know it was your last name when I
oh, you
first
did?
didn't started
Mhm.
seeing your signs. Not at
Yeah.
all. So no, I
Yeah.
think it's a fantastic name.
Thank you.
I agree.
Thank you.
I very much agree.
Appreciate that.
So tell us what makes Boxwell different now? What makes you stand out as a builder?
Um, well, it's almost 20 years in, right?
Mhm.
So over that time, we've really developed a really good system and a process to design and build a custom home, right? So it's not as easy as getting a set of plans and going and getting the permits and building a house. There's a lot that goes into the front end, especially of building a house. Like once you start building, 90% of the work has been done up front. So I think what makes us different is we really focus on that pre-construction aspect, of developing a relationship with the client, getting the specs super dialed in, and really educating our client on the process and what it takes to do it. By the time we stick a shovel in the ground, like selections are made, the schedule's done, the budget's finalized, like we just go at that point. So um, my team is exceptional at getting to that point. So I think that's kind of what makes us a little bit different.
Yeah, that's great because you can kind of anticipate problems too, during that process.
Right. We've implemented a lot of systems on the front end, to identify potential issues. For example, which I think we'll probably talk about, is we BIM model pretty much every one of our houses, which means we build it in 3D, and every stud, every piece of sheathing, every truss profile exactly the way the plans are shown. And by doing that, we can identify potential issues with, window openings or reveals where stone and wood might come into a window, or duct runs for HVAC, like all this stuff that we can identify early, that doesn't cost anything to change now, can potentially save our customer thousands and thousands of dollars and time, if we encountered that, during the construction
Yeah.
process.
Oh, so you're getting a lot done before construction even starts.
Right.
Sounds like that's setting you apart. Well, we see a lot of your current. I mean, both Brittany and I are cyclists, so we're always cycling around Paradise Valley. I'm like, oh, there's a Boxwell, there's a Boxwell. So seeing a lot of your properties pop up that are under construction. But I want to talk about some of your past projects that
Sure.
you've had. Do you mind sharing a few with us? And just
Sure.
remember, some of our listeners are just listeners and they're not seeing. So let's describe what we're seeing.
Yeah. So this first one, that's in the Phoenix Country Club. That was kind of a little bit out of our wheelhouse. We were typically known for our contemporary style. This
Mhm.
was the neighborhood just did not work for that. You can't put a contemporary home in a neighborhood that's full of Spanish and
You could, but your
Santa Barbara.
neighbors would hate you.
Exactly. We
Yeah.
didn't want that. So I knew the seller of the lot. I knew him, socially, and he said, "I want, you have any interest in buying this lot?" And I went and walked it. It's on the 13th uh, green of the Phoenix Country Club, and you walk out your front door, and it's the golf course. And I said, "Yes,
Wow.
I will buy this lot.
Mhm.
Whatever. This is a phenomenal lot. We'll
Mm-hmm.
make something work here." So we teamed up with Studio Wake, Damon Wake, on the architecture, and he just designed a beautiful house that fit the lot well. This is actually a spec. So it was definitely tested uh, our skills, because it's different than what we normally do, but I think it turned out beautifully.
Is that pool, it looks like it's a courtyard pool, so it's almost like you have privacy because the
Exactly.
backyard is exposed to the golf course.
The front yard is exposed to the golf course.
Got
So
it.
that's kind of how we designed the backyard. You wanted kind of your backyard private space and then your
Mhm.
front yard communal space where you can sit out in the front, on your patio, watch the golfers, or you can go in your backyard and kind of
Have more
close it up and
privacy.
have more privacy around your pool. So
It's a beautiful home.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Definitely different than a lot of the projects that we've
Right.
seen.
And you're kind of seeing this trend where it's going a little bit away from the contemporary to back to more of
Mhm.
a traditional type architecture, still with
Mhm.
modern features. But I would say half of the projects we're currently doing now is a more traditional vibe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I know a lot of people that we've talked to, and a lot of clients, um, their issue with modern architecture is that it feels hard or cold. And so even in a lot of modern architecture we're seeing a lot of wood elements be
S-
brought in, more
Warmer,
natural
right?
kind of things
Yeah, that's
to
true.
soften it up a little bit.
Exactly, exactly. The white stucco box is totally out, right? Like no
Yes.
one's doing that anymore.
Yep.
Um, Definitely more earth tones and softer and
Yeah.
stone and
More
wood.
organic, yeah, a little bit
Exactly.
warmer.
Yeah.
All right, do we have another house on here? And that Phoenix Country Club. Yeah, let's look at this one. So this is the bin model that you were talking about.
Sure.
Can
Yeah.
you
So
describe what that is? What does
yeah.
bin stand for? Do you know?
So building information modeling. Actually, I don't even know what it stands for.
Okay.
BIM, BIM. I don't know.
Okay.
My business partner Jeremy is like super into this. He's like, we got to do this. One of our guys in our Club 20 group in Florida showed it to us at one of our
Mhm.
meetings, and we're like, oh my god, this is genius. Why aren't we doing this? So essentially, we get the plans from the architect, right? And we take those plans and we put them into 3D. Our CAD guy uses SketchUp. So, like I said, he draws the foundation, he draws all the anchor bolt locations, all the hold downs, every stud, trimmer, header, beam, every steel member. And then we can see, but, because typically the architect and the engineers don't typically work together, right? The
Mhm.
architect does his thing, gets the architecture right, the layout, and then the engineers just kind of make it work.
Mhm.
So they don't really put the whole package together. So this is basically putting sandwiching everything together and building it in 3D, and we can see, what the potential issues would be. For this one, for example, there was a couple scenarios where there was a beams in the way of ductwork,
Mhm.
or we had a steel or stone siding, that you want to clean reveal into the window, um, and we noticed that we got to make our
Move it.
window bucks a little bit bigger just to make that reveal uh, work. So
This is great that you can do this beforehand and see it
yeah,
and fix those issues. I mean, not that other issues won't arise,
right. We
but
don't get all of them.
this is major stuff.
So, the initial investment up front that our client, pays for to get this done, it's 3,500, 4,500 bucks, up front.
That's nothing compared to what they could be spending
Exactly.
if you
So,
have to
and that
change
could
it.
potentially solve a 50, 60, $70,000
Yes.
problem in the field. And 100% of the time we've done this, we've found issues that could uh, be very, very costly for our clients. So, it's super helpful, and it helps us schedule too, right?
Yeah.
So we kind of know uh, the big things that we need to be looking out for, so
Mhm.
we can plan for them and schedule them and order early, and just we're super into schedule. That's
So
kind of our
is
deal.
this BIM model a completed project? Do we have photos of what this looks like finished?
Yeah, so this was a house in the Biltmore, the Palmer residence, I believe. We finished this
Guys, can
six
we
or
get to the photos of the? There we
yeah.
go. Oh, so this is it finished.
Yeah, this is it finished. And we especially needed to bin model this one. This was a very unique house. Our client actually owns factories in Asia, right?
Mhm.
So he manufactures items in Asia and imports them to the U.S. So he really wanted to use some overseas products in his house. Uh,
Some stuff we haven't seen, maybe.
exactly, right. So we ended up buying pretty much every flat surface you see there. That's that cladding was imported from overseas. That was actually from Italy, but we had to BIM model, every piece of that stone or porcelain to make sure we had enough, right? So
Yeah.
we don't want to be short and be waiting, 9 or 10 weeks to get another shipment
That
in.
fireplace was gorgeous. Was that floating stone? What was going on there?
Yeah, that's a product called laminum. So it's similar to like a porcelain, like you'll see here, like Cosentino makes. It's just they have a lot more options, different thicknesses, so we can use them for different applications, whether it's a shower or every single flat surface. That there wasn't one piece of tile in here; it was all this
Wow.
laminum. So every shower, every wall cladding, every countertop was this laminum material.
Have you used it in other projects since then?
We are currently using it in several projects ever
Really?
since we finished this one. Yep. It's
Those chairs are really cool too. I'm assuming they're chairs. They like
right. Those are
swings.
like little swings. Right. Right. What else? We imported the whole entire window package from Asia.
Oh, wow.
So we had to BIM model every window opening, make sure every buck was correct, and
Mhm.
all the operations would work properly. So it was, yes, it was essential. The BIM model was absolutely essential.
Very cool house. Very different.
Thank you.
And then I think we have one more project. I love this one.
Yeah, this is Mockingbird. It's a house in PV. A developer out of Aspen hired the ranch mind to design it and us to build it. So she was an out of town client, and it has a lot of cool features. Ton of stuff on this house was super hard to achieve. Um, you know, low low roof lines, so you got to get your ductwork and your shade pockets and everything up in these small spaces. Lots of
Mhm.
glass, lots of steel.
That's a great photo.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a really cool house.
Yeah, we've toured this one in
Have you?
person. It really is. Yeah, I love this property. Just recently sold.
It did. Yep, yep. So a lot of cool features. Kevin did a great job
Yeah,
with
go
the
back
design.
to 2 photos, 2 slides. What are we looking at here? Is this
That's a
detail?
front. Yeah, it's a front entry. So there's these little slits cut in limestone when you're walking to the front door, and that's backlit by like an LED
It's just
strip light.
details like this you just don't see in
Right.
a lot of properties.
Mhm.
Yeah, it offers a cool moment when you're walking to the front door with different textures and stuff like that. So yeah, this is a cool house. I think we finished this house in 11 months.
11 months after permit.
Yeah.
Wow. That's impressive. So what trends are you seeing right now? I know you got a lot of projects going on currently.
Um,
What are your clients asking you for?
lots of. I mean, as far as design wise, it's kind of all over the map. Like I was
Mhm.
saying, we feel like it's trending a little bit more towards a warmer traditional um, style. You know, contemporary isn't completely out, but the white stucco box with the
Mhm.
black fascia is definitely
Mm-hmm.
out. The warmer, you know, uh, features, stone and wood and textures, that
Mhm.
that desert warm modern vibe is in. And what else? Anything health and wellness,
Yep.
Yes, we're
I
seeing
can't
that
tell you how
too.
many red light saunas we put in the last year and
Cold
cold plunges,
plunges.
right? gyms, lighting control, is super popular. Outdoor living, we have clients spending, millions of dollars on their backyard for this oasis style
It's good to
entertainment
see people
space.
spending money on landscape, hardscape, though,
Right.
because I feel like for the longest time, people would build these houses and then the landscape was just like,
Well,
you know?
that's a typical developer MO,
Yeah.
right? Building spec houses, they kind of forget about the landscape, and
Mhm.
that's probably one of the most important features of the house.
Yes, and it's the
It's
one
gonna
thing that's gonna age well.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
or age the best.
Yeah.
Yes, this is a fun project. We got 2 or 3 going in the same neighborhood now. We just finished one on Doubletree, which is right around the corner for a nice family. So
Yeah, and does that one have multiple homes on it?
yeah, that's a multi-generational property where the grandparents live in the casita. You call it a
Mhm.
casita, but it's basically a full-size house, and then the family lives in the larger home on the estate. And there's they have outdoor pavilions, and there's like a little track in the back so they can ride their e e dirt bikes. And
How is it?
yeah.
5 acres or how many acres?
I believe it's only 2 acres, but it
Huh.
feels huge when you're on it. Pickleball court. I mean,
And
they
who
got
did you
everything.
work with on that? Who designed that one?
Cabin Ranch Mine designed that one as
Nice.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've ridden my bike. Well, I drive by it, but
Yeah.
I enjoy it more when I'm riding my bike.
Yeah.
All right, Evan, we like to do a couple rapid fire questions. You ready?
Sure.
All right. What's your favorite part of the building process?
Actual physical part would probably be drywall, because you can walk through the space and feel the rooms. That's the first time you can actually feel the space of the house and walk through it and get the feel of it.
It's funny when you said drywall. I was like drywall.
I know, right? And obviously when it's done, right?
But
I
you're
mean,
actually
that's
right. It actually, I mean, it takes talent to understand when you walk into a framed place, like to
Mhm.
understand where.
right.
Yeah. What?
And then once the drywall goes up, it's almost like that's when the client can actually
Exactly.
understand the
Start changing
dimensions
everything.
of it.
Right.
Exactly.
Moving walls. Yeah.
Not actually doing drywall. though,
Right.
right?
No,
Okay.
no, that's not that exciting.
What's your favorite type of music?
Um, folksy country is kind of what I'm into right now.
Yeah.
Mostly country.
Okay.
Pretty easy listening. My wife loves like rap, and I can't get into rap. No.
I love it.
Early mornings or late nights?
Early mornings for sure. I'm typically asleep by 9:30 every night, but I'm up early. The morning is when I can do my best creative thinking, when no one's bothering me, my phone's not ringing. I have some time to myself. So yeah, I would definitely say early mornings.
I would agree. What is your favorite thing about living in the valley?
The valley has changed so much over the last 25 years since I've been here. It's it's such a different place. It used to be just like a second home type of city, but now there's phenomenal restaurants, and there's walkability, and there's tons of stuff to do, and the weather, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
You're 2 hours from skiing, and you're 2 hours from the beach,
Mhm.
or 3 hours. So, and it's great. Everything about it is phenomenal, except for July and August. Right?
I agree. I'm right
Yeah.
there with you. One piece of advice for clients building their first custom home.
Just do your homework. Like building a house it's not rocket science, right? Like literally anybody can go and build a house, but getting teaming up with a partner that has your best interest at hearts, and will keep you out of the ditch and will look out for you, and that's done it before, is important. This is a very big investment you're making, so you really have to have that trust with your builder, and that's established on the front end, for sure, building that rapport.
Yeah. Great answer. I think people will definitely be in good hands with you and all of your experience.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We are
Sure.
going to share your contact information in our show notes, but if you wouldn't mind telling people where they could find you.
Sure. You can find us on the internet, boxwellhomes.com, and on Instagram, Boxwell_homes, I believe. And then I think that's it. I'm not sure.
Perfect.
All right, guys, make sure to check Evan out. Thanks for being on our show.
Thank you for having me.
That's it for today's episode of Modern Home Mastermind. If you've enjoyed the show, please subscribe, rate, and like us.
Thanks to our guest for sharing his insights and to you for learning about everything modern with us.
And if you're ready to take the next step in your real estate journey, please reach out to us at beSpoke Real Estate. Until next time, keep living, loving everything modern.